Let's hope that my microphone is working the way I want it to. I've been playing with it and learning the Rode Wireless Go 2. Pressing certain buttons mutes it, and of course you only find out after you've done the video and you go and listen to it and watch it, and you find you can't hear anything, or just barely. So the gain needs to be set a certain way so that it can be understood when I'm not going anywhere, as well as when I'm on the freeway. And I think I've got it figured out. But this is my 2021 F3 Limited. I have added a few things. Graphics, halo skid, monster eyes, drink holder, and my passenger, little Poe. Let's see if I can get on the bike now. It's not that hard to do. Normally, I have my phone already in the holder, but I'm showing you what I do. I have it set so that it never locks. Whenever I put it down, I actually put it in my pocket, and I turn it off when I do that, so that when I put it in the holder and then put my helmet on and everything, it doesn't lock. The Android, you can have it so that the bike can unlock it. But the iPhones need to be unlocked. The new 2021 Dash can be set to a light mode. It has a sensor, but the sensor doesn't work perfectly. So if I set it to automatic, it should stay light, and it doesn't. It's daytime, it should be light. So that's one of the big differences. And when I do go for a ride, with my 2018, I had to wait for the system to boot up, the infotainment system to boot up. Then the radio would come on, the FM radio. Then I had to get BRP Connect up, and I had it set so that when I opened it, it opened the music app first, so I could get the music playing. But with the 2021 now, unless you were actually listening to music on the phone when you turn the bike on, I think that's the way it works, because most of the time I see nothing. But when I hit the joystick up, I get my music. It's kind of weird. On the odd occasion, it will actually just start playing, and I think it's because I had it playing on the phone just before I hooked it up. No matter what music you've got playing, whether YouTube music, Google Music, Sirius Music, it'll just start continuing to play in the bike. One time I had a YouTube video that I paused, and when I got on the bike, I started hearing the YouTube video, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to hear that over and over and over, because it'll just keep playing. So basically, I have learned a few things. The Dash version is 40.6. The 2020 has a 30.7, and the 18s and 19s have 20.8. Unfortunately, this music feature and the Dash light mode is not available on the earlier models. I would love to see it available, but everybody's going to need to bug BRP to try and get them to get it upgraded. I mean, you should have it. Even if you don't have the sensor in the dash, you should be able to change it so that you can see it better. And music, yeah, you kind of want to get it playing when you start going. There are many times when everybody's waiting for me because I've got to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait for the system to boot up so that I can, because once you're going, once you're moving, you can't really get music playing. You have to be stopped. On the few times that I've really needed to get going, we've been at intersections where when you wait for the light, you can actually maneuver it while you're waiting. So basically, the more you use it, the easier it becomes. And I'm going to try and make little videos like this as often as once a week if I can, to show how easy it is to use. I've learned from many years in the past that putting any kind of electric device on the handlebars tends to actually do damage to them. Now there's one phone mount where you put the phone in a case and it does have some kind of dampening feature, but a lot of the other mounts, the phone is going to vibrate, and if it's a rigid mount, you're going to have problems with the phone. It can actually do damage if you ride it a lot. If you don't ride too often, then I guess you'll be fine. But I have found that I've actually had problems with phones in the past. So on the dash. The other thing is the glove box on the F3s, and I believe the new RTs, can get pretty toasty. So I am using a selfie stick phone holder with a GoPro base on a GoPro mount stuck to the top of the dash. Because it's outside the glove box, it keeps it cool. There's no need to see the phone. I don't need to. I'd love to just cover it. I think I need to put a anti-glare screen on it, because when the sun's at a certain spot, I get the glare of the sun on it, but that thing holds it there and it gets airflow. So even on an extremely hot day, if you're moving, you're cooling the phone. So now I'm going to get on the freeway here and see how my mic works on the freeway. I'd like to not hear much wind at all. I'm gonna go through how I corner. You kind of gotta lean into the corner. If you ever watch sidecar racing, it makes it fun to lean into the corner. Now my face shield is down, and we're going to see what the mic is like with the wind noise. I'd like to be able to hear me clearly, and then I can actually put the video out. I have two blind spot mirrors, one on either mirror. They swivel independently of the big mirrors, and over the years I've learned to use them, but I'm also always moving my eyes to the mirrors, to in front of me, to behind me, keeping an eye on what's beside me. If you take a motorcycle class, you'll learn about looking 12 seconds ahead, so that you're up on it. Your life depends on knowing what's around you, beside you, behind you, and knowing that you can can take evasive action if you need to. Two-wheeled motorcycles have a counter-steering capability. These things do too. Not as effective, but it works to get around things. Normally I use Genius Maps. I have been using Cygic, but even in my car, when I use Cygic, after a half an hour to an hour, it just freezes. I don't know whether it's my phone or the system. I think it's my phone because others are using it and having no problems at all. But I've learned to use Genius, play with it in the garage a bit to get familiar with what it looks like. And so when I'm out on the road and I've got a route going, if I find I need a gas station, I can pretty much tell what to do a search and find a gas station. When you're not moving, the keyboard comes up. But when you are moving, the keyboard stays out, but you can still choose points of interest and then select gas, and it will show you gas stations near where you are. You choose one, and it'll actually add it to the route you're on. If you don't have a route, it'll route you to that gas station. One of the things I remember with my TomToms is that it would like me to ask me, do I want a gas station that's on the route? The Genius doesn't do that. So if you just pass your favorite gas station and you choose to go to that station, it'll make you turn around. It won't look for gas stations ahead of you on the route. It's still new, I think. Don't know how long Genius has been out there, but it works really well. It's stable, doesn't have any hiccups. And I'm about to pull into a little park where it's shady, depending on how well used the park is. Hopefully I can pull in and get a shady spot. And then I can talk a bit more about the dash. It's difficult to see behind you when you're backing up. But this is my setup. My mount in the center of the handlebars is for CB radio. I power it with a USB. I put a Bluetooth Sena SM10 here. And then this is the push to talk button. I just had it serviced, 3,300 miles now, 3 months, just almost 4 months now, because I got it May 5th. I don't get to ride too often because I've got an elderly parent that I have to keep tabs on and be close to. I use the GoPro Max camera you can see on the dash for 360 video. The little Ferbers are what we call dead cats because there's no way to turn the mic off on that. So when I turn the bike on, it boots up. I hit the mode button. I can start the bike. And I'm going to switch to the dark mode so it's a bit easier to see. Even though it's a lighter mode, there's still some things that aren't quite visible. So push the joystick in. This is the stats and trip meter. Push the joystick to the right. You've got your total miles. You've got trip A and trip B. If you push the joystick down and hold it, you can change the trip meter, or I just cleared it. When you push it down, you clear it. When you push it up and hold it, you change it so that the screen on the left shows your trip. If you go to total miles and push the joystick up, you can get your total miles back. You push the joystick in, and you can go back out. So now I'm going to go to music. You have 3 sources of music: FM, Bluetooth, and auxiliary. And when you first turn it on, you'll set it up for Bluetooth, and that will stay that way unless you change it. So if you're going to use just music from your phone, just have it set there and it'll just pick it up instantly. You can change the volume to where there's one feature called auto volume, and you can have it so that the faster you go, the louder it gets. And you can either have it low, medium, or high, or off. Some people, I think that maybe they're finding their volume isn't very loud, and that might be one reason. So we go down to settings and display, and you can change the brightness. But I mean, I am in the shade right now, so I don't know if that would make a difference for the sensor, but I mean, I have tried it, and it just changes when it feels like it. So I've had to set it to light permanently because it's just easier to see. I'd love to see the earlier models get this, but you got to bug BRP. If you want to check out your version, you go to settings and about, and that'll tell you what version, line 3, 40.6. If you want to see if there's any faults, this is how you find them. I don't have any. When you need to make a phone call, I am finding a fun little feature that I don't like very much. When I make a call and the caller hangs up, I don't get my music and GPS back. But when I receive a call and they hang up, everything goes back to the way it was. So basically, this is call history and contacts. I would prefer favorites. If I'm going to call someone by the name of Paul, I've got to go through all my list of favorites or contacts because they're alphabetical by first name. And what's weird is you can spend 5 minutes scrolling through all of these while you're going down the road at 70 miles an hour. But if you want to adjust your music, you have to stop. And it's like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? But that's the way they've got it set up so that when you're moving, it's just like in cars. When I want to do something to the phone, if I'm moving, it wants me to agree that I'm not driving it so that they're covered, so that you can't sue them if you do something wrong. So, but Apple Music Dash Radio, there is a radio in Apple Music. But along with Dash Radio, it requires cell service, just like XM Radio. With my 2018, I found I could not have XM Radio playing if I wanted GPS and all the other BRP Connect apps. But with the 2021, I can have XM Radio playing. I can have any music I want playing. There is a difference. Let's see. Rever, when it comes up, you can see it opens up in the dash in the phone, and the phone goes dark again. But there's no record button. there's just search hearts and settings. And I tried this the other day, and it gives you a choice of display route on map, get turn-by-turn directions. And I tried to see if it could display on the map, and I still get this thing. Okay, you need to do the turn-by-turn directions. Then you will actually get navigation. And what this will also do, it will activate your tracking so that, as I said, if you just want to go for a ride, have a favorite set to go to your nearest gas station and activate it, and it'll track your ride, and you can take the longest route possible to get to your gas station. But you need to choose the direct, you don't choose the map one. Push the joystick in, and you back out of the app. If you go into certain somethings and into a step, you can go, and then you decide, no, you don't want that. You hit the joystick to the left and hold it, and you back out of that step. Some apps you can actually back out of the app. Some apps don't work that way. I like Genius. It's stable. I'm having problems with Cygic. I've learned what I'm looking at. Top left is the search, and you can do a search. You can do gas stations and favorites. It's pretty. So I mostly have a route set up already. So when it opens up, it just comes up with the route already on it. All I can do is this is it for today. So basically, the more often you use it, the easier it gets.